اللهم صل على محمد وآله وزدني بهم يا ربي نورا.
I was told about this lecture about a couple of days ago, so unfortunately I didn't have the time to actually prepare a slide, as I was in Sydney actually for a couple of weeks and just here for a few days. So it will be more of a, I guess, fourth talk, or chalk talk, as they say. That could be more interesting with some of you. So the concept we're going to be discussing today is going to be a fundamental to the religion of Islam. Since this is kind of a lecture about Islamic perspective, I'll rather get into the fundamentals. So there, in Islam, jumping right into it, there are things that are called the roots of the religion. The roots of religion, or basically roots of Islam. And the main, there are five of them in total. One is monotheism, which in Arabic is called Tawheed. The second one is prophethood. Or in Arabic it's called Nubuwah. The third is resurrection. Excuse my spelling today. I haven't had good sleep due to the jet lag. So and then it's a belief in divine succession to prophethood. That's known as imama. And finally, the fifth one is divine justice. Adala. All Muslims agree on the first three, so this is common among all Muslims. This is Islam. Last two here are believed in the school of thought known as the Jafri. In addition to the first three. So all Muslims agree on the first three: monotheism, prophethood, and resurrection. This is what basically is required, the basics that are required for a person to become a Muslim. This is called the roots of their religion. Today we'll be concentrating more on this concept of monotheism, Tawheed. What does really Islam mean when it says Tawheed? Is it just as far as we know, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul huwallahu ahad, there's a chapter in the Quran say God is one? Or does it have a bit more into it as well? So we're gonna, excuse me, jump a little bit, to whatever time we have, about 30 or 40 minutes or so on this concept, as well as, in addition to it, we'll add the concept of glorification, which is tasbih. Okay, which could be brought under the same umbrella as well. And you can feel free of asking questions about this. Okay, so the rest of the topic, unfortunately, we don't have time for, unless we're going to be here for a very long time. So it will be just a very brief discussion on monotheism. At the end, if you got any questions, please feel free to ask. But this will give you the gist of what Islam's belief or perspective on monotheism is, and the importance of this belief in the Islamic perspective. Why is it important to understand monotheism, Tawheed, and really what implications does it have for a practicing Muslim, let's say. Okay. So when it comes to these issues, one thing about Islam with regards to these issues is that it's not just a matter of faith. These five concepts can be proven using, for example, logic or reason. That's one thing important about Islam when it comes to the roots of the religion. We've got the branches of the religion as well, and that includes, for example, the prayers, the fasting, the charity, and so on and so forth. These are considered the branches, not the roots, the fundamentals of Islam. So this is really the important part, the fundamentals. Okay, so let's come to the concept of monotheism. it actually divides into four concepts. One is called the unity of the essence. In Arabic, it is called Tawheed Al-That. Tawheed Al-That. The unity of the essence. What is the unity of the essence? It's divided into two components. A, oneness, the concept of one, which means that God has no partner. So in Islam, we believe that there's only the one God, and got no partner or associates. So God cannot be divided. There is only one God, and one not in the numerical sense. In the numerical sense means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. That's numerically speaking. We're not talking numerically here. We're talking one as there is no other one with him. Okay, so that's the one we're talking about. That's the concept of the unity of the essence. It's that one God. The second thing, this in Arabic they refer to it as wahid. Wahid. Wahid means one. Okay, so that's wahid. Okay. Then we have unity of the essence, one, but another thing which is called in Arabic, I'm going to write it first, ahad. And ahad can be referring to, it means, and I'll tell you the meaning first, that he is simple and nothing is like him. What does that mean? In Islam, we believe that God exists everywhere at the same time. He's everywhere. So when we turn to God, for example, in the heavens, it doesn't mean that God is only in the heavens. God is not limited, is not physical. He's not limited to space or time. He has no beginning, nor does he have an end. In order for this to occur, how can that happen? So we believe that God, the essence of God is simple, in the sense that he's not compound. Everything that exists in the universe is compound. In other words, it's composed of particles. It's composed of components. If we take a look at us, for example, here we're composed of parts. So therefore, because we're composed of parts, we're physical. We cannot be in two places at the same time. One place, one time. You take a look at, for example, even the atom. It's got neutrons and electrons, for example, and protons, composed of particles or subatomic particles. Therefore, even according to Heisenberg theories of uncertainty, we cannot tell where the electron is, but we know it exists. There is a probability that exists at a particular location at a particular time, which means there is time. Plus, nowadays, with the aid of technology, we can actually weigh an electron. We know its masses. And we can weigh the protons, so we know the mass of protons as well. So that we can tell. This indicates that at a particular time in space, at a particular time, in a particular space, that electron is in that particular position. Okay? And that's called the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, where the guy won the Nobel Prize for it. So nonetheless, even subatomically speaking, everything that is made up of components or parts cannot exist in two places at the same time. So the only way for God Almighty to be in more than one place at the same time is for him to have a simple essence. So that's what it is, simple essence. This is known as the unity of the essence, those two components here. That's one type